when you finish school, when you go to university, especially after university, you realize that, okay, it's not as easy to make friends. So what are different avenues you can actually do that? The underlying point is you want to find places, events, etc., where the kind of people you want to be friends with are going to. Here's 9 best ways I found to meet like-minded people in this modern world, whether in your teens or in your 20s. Okay, first one is paid communities. So like courses and masterminds, taking courses in the things you want to learn, the things you're really passionate about. All of these kind of places, all these courses will normally have some sort of community page where you get to interact with everybody. About a year ago, I took Ali Abdul's part-time YouTube academy where I learned the basics of YouTube. And the other really big part about it is, like I was saying, this community. What I really liked, which was done in the course, is that Ali was running in-person events like 2 or 3 times a year, which is really cool, just to interact with like people who are also into making videos. Because like I'm in my little town where I grew up, like I'm not really going to meet people like that. Okay, another cool thing is, you know, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he created this board game in regards to all of this, so about improving your financial IQ and just getting out of the rat race, quote unquote. So these groups will play the board game around the world. So there's one actually in Birmingham, which I go to. Realize there's like loads of other people who are in the same kind of mindset as you, and you get to interact with them, and then eventually the more you go, you slowly start to become friends with them. Again, these kind of people are not randomly going to meet in the streets. Okay, number 2, events, whether it's book launches to random speeches to TED Talks to your favorite podcaster doing a live event. So a lot of the times you might already be naturally going to these events. If we go into those things, you already have something in common with the person sitting right next to you. In terms of events, a couple of months ago I went to Yes Theory's movie launch. Again, because you have something in common, like it's very easy to kind of like strike a conversation, just talk about random stuff. So classes and workshops where somewhere you physically have to be there, and in turn you're spending time with like other people, whether it's some sort of yoga, Pilates class, maybe some sort of self-development workshop. This could even be dancing classes like whether salsa or tango or wherever else, because you get to meet all sorts of people and kind of environments like this, which is quite cool. During summer in Edinburgh, I used to go to hot yoga classes. So there's this thing called Bikram yoga where you more or less do a bunch of yoga poses in the sauna. If you know about Bikram yoga, okay, the guy is a bit dodgy, but if you separate the practice from him, you can kind of see where it's actually right, you know. And then again, the people you meet there are just really interesting, from like professional fighters to businessmen, and then to all sorts of different people. It is quite a cool environment. The next point is retreats, action holidays, and camps. So in here, you spend multiple days with others, whether it's let's say a fighting camp, whether it's Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, or let's say like a Wim Hof, like winter expedition, or like let's say a summer expedition, to literally wherever else. There's thousands of events like this. A few years back, I did a 10-day silent meditation retreat, like a Vipassana retreat. Firstly, for doing nothing for 10 days is a pretty intense experience. And yeah, and after those 10 days, you have this really weird, like really strong bond with other people who share the same experience with you. And yeah, you figure out that you have a lot in common. And then the people who kind of went to these events are like from CEOs to ex-drug dealers who turn hippies, wanting to help others. Like the environment is quite insane. And a couple of things which I'm planning to do. I want to go to some sort of Muay Thai or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu camp at some point in the near future. And my mate and I, Tom, we want to do a Wim Hof winter expedition at some point as well. I think that's going to be absolutely sick. 5 is sports, especially intense ones. Martial arts, whether it's Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, MMA maybe, to CrossFit and to things like that. So people who do like intense sports, so hard intense sports like this, normally have crossovers of having this hard working ethos into other areas of the life, whether it's the business, whether it's just all sorts of other stuff. Another crucial point here is through doing these things, you develop a very big sense of community, because you're spending so much time with everybody else. Everybody's there to kind of make sure they're doing well. All of you kind of check up on each other, making sure you're progressing, you're doing better. Everybody wants the best for you. And in this modern world, it's a lot easier to feel isolated, even though they're a lot more connected. So having places like this where you physically meet up with people and have this physical community I feel like is very important. Okay, next point is university and school clubs. If you're at school or university, the chances are there's a lot of extracurricular clubs, activities, societies which you have access to. When you have the capacity to do that, you really do need to take advantage of it. Well, I got lucky before the big lockdown happened, where during first and second year of uni, where I got to just basically experiment going to loads of different societies. Like, for example, for me, I went to martial arts society, like did Kung Fu. I went to like spiritual and like self-development societies, went to investment society, went to photography society. I did like sports and all sorts of different stuff at uni. And through the process of going to these societies at uni, I developed loads of really close friendships, which again, like incredibly thankful for. Social media online. In this modern world, all of us have social media. So how can we actually use it effectively? Facebook groups, there's Instagram groups, and there's also a really cool website or app called Meetup. Again, the whole purpose of it is to create communities like-minded people, like a meetup. So for example, for me, when I was in Edinburgh, I joined this community where we would hike up a mountain, which escapes my brain. We will hike up Arthur Seat mountain. I guess it's a hill which just overlooks the whole of Edinburgh, and it's absolutely stunning, especially just kind of looking down, watching the sunset. It's absolutely beautiful. A couple of people there, especially one, I became like friends with a guy called Dan, and who turns out to be from Coventry, where I went to uni. What are the chances? And yeah, he introduced me to his mates who would go hiking more or less every weekend, and I'll start joining them. Another thing in this section is Bumble. So you can use Bumble as a dating app, and to be honest, here you can use all dating apps for all sorts of different things. But on Bumble, there is a Bumble BFF section and Bumble Biz section. So BFF to find friends, and Biz, like, again, is for friends and business, I guess, connections, networking, like LinkedIn. To be honest, LinkedIn could be here as well, but I don't really use LinkedIn, so I can't really comment on it. Again, so Bumble Friends and Bumble Biz. Some people, okay, are a bit funky, a bit interesting, you know, but there's a lot of people are quite cool. I'm coming back to Edinburgh. Why am I coming back to Edinburgh? Okay, so during summer, I decided to give it a shot, just see what Bumble BFF is. And through that, I actually met a bunch of people who I became like good friends with. So there's just a lot of opportunity out there, is again just being aware of it and being exposed to it and then actually using it. And especially if you're working from home the whole day, it's quite difficult just to naturally meet people. So stuff like this, you can use technology to your advantage. Okay, personal branding. So here you're putting yourself out there, whether you're posting YouTube videos, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or wherever else. And through the process of posting the things you're passionate about, other people start reaching out to you. You start connecting like that. Again, I don't have a crazy big social media presence. I'm slowly curating, getting better at making videos, and I'm sure in a couple of years' time this will be a bit easier for me. But even now, like, there is a couple of people who I became friends with through a mutual passion for making videos or for creating. And again, there is, coming back to Edinburgh, I met Dara, who did part-time YouTube Academy, and he mentioned that he was in Edinburgh. He lived in Edinburgh. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And eventually ended up getting a job in Edinburgh, and I'd like message him like, hi mate, how you doing? And yeah, over time we would meet like every couple of weeks, just grab coffee, just talk about YouTube, talk about random different bits. And the reason why we connect is because both of us just enjoy making YouTube videos. Point number 9, travel. It's not sustainable just to travel 24/7, but it's gold. It is amazing. That's what I'm trying to say, like, if I get my words out. Hostels, whether through just going walking tours, to going to different events when you're traveling, to just pub crawls even, to even when you're going out to restaurants, to clubs and stuff like that. You already share this mutual passion for traveling, and the chances are like a lot of your passions definitely overlap, and the more you travel, the more these kind of people you get to meet. So yeah, it's good vibes all around. Bonus point here is the old-fashioned way of speaking to strangers, whether you're waiting in line for a coffee shop or maybe at the post office, or maybe you see somebody wearing, let's say Yes Theory, Seek Discomfort jumper, or like all sorts of different stuff, or maybe he's also supports Chelsea, and just randomly speaking to strangers. Firstly, this puts you out of your comfort zone, and you realize that people are not all that scary. Crazy, I know. Okay, obviously there's a few do's and don'ts, but in terms of just a life hack, like stuff like this, that it creates so much serendipity, and you get to meet so many just different people from all sorts of walks of life. And especially now where the whole world is moving digitally, where because you're sitting in front of the screen all day, you don't really train the social muscle. And even for guys, just saying hi to a cute girl you see on the streets is a skill which you cultivate. Yeah, it's just I've got nothing but good things to say about it. It leads you to all sorts of different experiences. At some point I will talk about this. I think it's a very interesting topic. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to watch another video, maybe about my fear of starting YouTube for 7 years and what I learned through it, I've got the video right here. But you know, if you don't, maybe you've seen the video, you know what, I love you anyways. Right guys, I'll see you later. Bye.